when you look at the crowds today, you have maybe 5,000-6,000 people here. On the streets yesterday, 1 million people, 1 million Iranians in the street for the Ayatollah Khomeini. Does that not give you concern? Does that not make you afraid?
Because they are afraid, yeah, that's right. And most of the people don't say anything because they are afraid. And they are in silence, you know, they don't say anything.
Is this the silent majority of Iran out here now?
Yes, that's right.
Do you want the Shah to return?
Yes, Shah, return to the country.
What about you, Why do you want the Shah? Why does she want the
ما شاه میخوایم ما بیچاره این
شادی کشتنش حلاله کجای قرآن گفته
47 years we've been bleeding in the dark, under the shadow of the Islamic regime, with a stone-cold heart. They silenced our voices, they turned off our light. 58 days without internet, but we still fought the night. Our children took the streets, they raised their empty hands, and the world looked away. Do you understand? Do you know Europe? Do you know what's been done? Do you know Europe? 42,000 souls are gone, killed in 2 days by a regime drenched in blood. Do you know Europe? Or have you just given up? Do you know Europe? Do you feel anything at all? Or did something break inside you while Iran answered the call? Do you know Europe? 42,000 lives, 2 days, that's all it took. Mothers and fathers and sons, did you even look? We stand with Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, our hope and voice. Millions behind him marching, he is our only choice. He only fights for freedom, democracy and human rights. But you mock him in your chambers while he fights for our lives, to pull us out of this darkness, this century-long night, while you sign deals with our killers and call it diplomatic right. Do you know Europe? Do you know what's been done? Do you know Europe? They hang 60, 40 souls one by one, hanged within 4 months by a regime drenched in blood. Do you know Europe? Or have you just given up? Do you know Europe? Do you feel anything at all? Or did something break inside you while Iran answered the call? Do you know Europe? What happened to you, Europe? What made you so cold? What turned your heart to stone? while our story went untold. Is oil worth more than blood? Is silence worth the shame? Because while you negotiate with murderers, we are dying, calling your name. Do you know Europe? Do you know what's been done? Do you know Europe? 42,000 souls are gone, killed in 2 days by a regime drenched in blood. Do you know Europe? Or have you just given up? Do you know Europe? We are still here. We are still strong. Do you know Europe? How much longer? How much longer? How long? Do you know Europe?
To all of our friends around the world, under the yoke of the Islamic Republic, Iran is identified in your minds with terrorism, extremism, and poverty. The real Iran is a different Iran, a beautiful, peace-loving, and flourishing Iran. It is the Iran that existed before the Islamic Republic, and it is the Iran that will rise again from its ashes the day the Islamic Republic falls. So let me be clear about how a free Iran will act towards its neighbors and the world after the fall of this regime. In security and foreign policy, Iran's nuclear military program will end. Support for terrorist groups will cease immediately. A free Iran will work with regional and global partners to confront terrorism, organized crime, drug trafficking, and extremist Islamism. Iran will act as a friend and a stabilizing force in the region, and it will be a responsible partner in global security. In diplomacy, relations with the United States will be normalized, and our friendship with America and her people will be restored. The State of Israel will be recognized immediately. We will pursue the expansion of the Abraham Accords into the Cyrus Accords, bringing together a free Iran, Israel, and the Arab world. A new chapter will begin, grounded in mutual recognition, sovereignty, and national interest. In energy, Iran holds some of the largest oil and gas reserves in the world. A free Iran will become a reliable energy supplier to the free world. Policymaking will be transparent. Iran's actions will be responsible. Prices will be predictable. In transparency and governance, Iran will adopt and enforce international standards. Money laundering will be confronted. Organized corruption will be dismantled. Public institutions will answer to the people. In the economy, Iran is one of the world's last great untapped markets. Our population is educated, modern, with a diaspora that connects it to the four corners of the world. A democratic Iran will open its economy to trade, investment, and innovation, and Iran will seek to invest in the world. Opportunity will replace isolation. This is not an abstract vision. It is a practical one, grounded in national interest, stability, and cooperation. To achieve this, now is the time to stand with the Iranian people. The fall of the Islamic Republic and the establishment of a secular, democratic government in Iran will not only restore dignity to my people, it will benefit the region and the world. A free Iran will be a force for peace, for prosperity, and for partnership.
وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته ایم قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه روبروم یه واژه یه هدف به نام انتقامه پشت سرم دعای مادر و تو دستم تفنگ بابامه رو زبونم اسم شاه بگین عشق بی انتهاست هر جا اسم ایران اومد اونجا صدای بچه رضاست فردا می نویسن تو کتاب قصه دیمار بگو با تیر جنگی کشتن بچه های بیگناه رو بگو از بخت مادرها شیر زنا و دخترامون بگو تنها شهید شدیم تا تنها نمونه شامون وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه وقتی واسه غم نی گرچه قصه هامون کم نیست
همه خسته این قبولم ما فرصتی واسه ماتم نیست روشن میشه فردا خورشید سرزمین ما سرم باز و سینه سپر بلند میگم جاوید شاه
سلام من به تو یار قدیمی منم همون هوادار قدیم
سید سلام چطوری مردک کلی کتلت شدین دایی بدون مدرک سلام بسیجی قهرمان رفتی پیش توسی با پنیر و یه نون سنگک سلام به محفل قرآنیتون سلام به مدیرای بحرانیتون سلام به حاجی اکبر و طوله هاش و خارج و رفقای ارگانیتون سلام به دزدای پول ملت که تش میفتین توی تور ملت سلام به همه شما کرکسایی که دارین نونتون رو میزنین تو خون ملت ساکتش زیر دست و پاک و تک بخورین حالا هی به یه بادکنک بدوین سلام آخر تو زندان باشه وقتی قرار به این آب خنک بخورین مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا اینو بگذاریم به خاک میرسیم تجزیه طلبی که به خاک بیرسیم ایران مردمش وطن پرستن از کرد تا بلوچ بری به فاک میرسی توف به هر چی مرسی است توف به هر کی در پی تجزیه است توف به لوی و همونی که شیفته ی گل ملیگران تو وطن خدا نسلی هست سر کردستان همه برپا شدن بلوچستان فدای مهسا شدن شم واحد که شیر و خورشید ما بقی جعلی ها تنها شدن شادی باشه واسه همه در میهن کور بشه چه شهرچی اهریمن رخه رو بگی تا اون 6 کلاس سواد و خبرگان و مجد سری ترجیحن شبهای عروس و دامادی باشه برن سلامتی نوش کنن و آبادی باشه لحظت کجاست میدون شهیاده به سمت اتوبان آزادی باشه سلام به نسل ندید پدیدا نبودیم ندیدیم قدیمتی ما شاه بود تو شادی کل میزدین حالا شاه بر میگرده پیک میزنین مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا مرگ بر ملا متولی ننگ در دنیا ننگ بر دوتا مجاهد چپی بعد از ملا
فاهنگ به این خوشگلی بانو آیده بود اسم این مشخانه رو توش بیاریم ولی خب لازم بود دیگه فکر کنم بانو آیده
Let's go. میخوام بگم از دلم، از عشق به این میهنم، به امید روز شکست دشمن شاه برمیگرده به وطن. برگشتن پهلوی، وحشت هر اجنبی، بلند بگو همشهری شاه رضا پهلوی. نظام رسیده پرتگاه، بلند بگو جاوید شاه. برگشت شاه به میهن، دوای درد وطن. این آخرین نبرده، پهلوی برمیگرده. داره میاد پهلوی، زجه بزن سید علی. راه نجات وطن، پهلوی هموطن. ایران میشه گلستان، شاه که بیاد به ایران. ایران که شاه نداره، حساب کتاب نداره. آخون باید گم بشه، توپ تانک فشفشه. گم شو بیرون اجنبی، داره میاد پهلوی. فریاد بزن جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن ها. ما شاه میخوایم نه ملا، بزار بشنوه دنیا. ایرانی داد بزن، شاه تو فریاد بزن. برگشتن پهلوی، وحشت هر اجنبی. بلند بگو هموطن، شاه رضا پهلوی. فریاد بزن جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن خواه. بلند بگو جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن خواه. فریاد بزن جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن خواه. فریاد بزن جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن خواه. بلند بگو جاوید شاه، شعار هر وطن خواه.
Look at us here today. We see so many flags representing so many nations. We know we are not alone, and we thank you for being with us. For all people around the world who stand today in unity with the Iranian people, this is not just because it's good for us, and you do it out of compassion and care for our rights to liberty and justice and equality and human rights. But understand that it is in your best interest too, to have, unlike this regime that has been propagating terror and radicalism, we the people of Iran are peacemakers and not warmongers. We like to be friends, especially with the free world. We'd like to be able to have the best neighborly relationship with the people of our area in the region, with the Arab countries, with Israel, and all our other neighbors. We are fighting for justice, we're fighting for human rights, we are fighting for liberty, we're fighting to put an end to all sorts of discrimination. Because as an Iranian, I stand here to tell you that I've dedicated 47 years of my life because I think that my country deserves far better than what we have right now. To now understand that their best remedy is to support the people of Iran, because ultimately a free Iran will be your best partner, not just to bring stability and peace, but it will be in your best economic interest and opportunities. Together we can prosper again, and the world will be so different once the Iranian people are free. I am here to guarantee a transition to secular democratic future. I am committed to be that leader of transition for you, so we can one day have the final opportunity to decide the fate of our country through a democratic, transparent process, through the ballot box and free elections. And let's make sure that this time, especially the free nations of this world and their governments, stand on the right side of history.
Well, Durud Patriots, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to day 183 of Iran Revolution Live. And today is Tuesday, so we are joined by a very special guest. No need to introduce him, but always happy to do so. We're joined by POTYPTO, our resident Iranian freedom fighter inside of occupied Iran. Durud POTYPTO, welcome. How are you?
Durud Goldie, Durud Patriots. I'm fine and very glad to spend another time with you guys, and always my honor to be by your side. In fact, I was thinking about all of the viewers and listeners of this live stream who have dared to be with us through all these dark and bright nights and days. And these people, especially everyone in the comments or anybody who thinks about Iranian people or Iran freedom, I think these are the most enlightened people around the world right now, because they see the light sooner than everyone. And I think having them by our side, it's a guarantee for us to win this battle at last.
Absolutely. Well, welcome. Such an honor to have you here, POTYPTO. And I know our viewers always appreciate when you are here with us on Iran Revolution Live, because they get to hear from and I say this jokingly, but they hear from a real Iranian inside of Iran, right? So that's how I like to point that out. But it's always great to have you, because basically everything that you say confirms what the rest of us, those of us who are in the diaspora, those of us who are outside of occupied Iran, are able to say freely while showing our face and using our real names, right? And this is for all our viewers, Iranians in occupied Iran, they don't have the luxury of using their real name or their real image or anything like that if they're speaking out against the Islamic regime, because doing so is basically a crime punishable by death. So before we begin, let me know in the live stream chat where you're tuning in from. Always interested to know. And of course, if you're watching this live stream afterwards, let me know in the comments where you are tuning in from. All right, POTYPTO. So there's a number of things that I'd like to talk about today with you. And, let's just dive right into it, because one of the biggest questions that a lot of non-Iranians have is how many people actually attended the funeral of the dead supreme dictator, Khamenei. And of the number of people who attended, how many were actually there to, because they were genuinely upset and they were in mourning, versus how many were there to watch the freak show? And then on top of that, how many of the people who actually attended to mourn, how many of them are actually Iranian? Because I shared some footage yesterday, which showed that a lot of these people who are attending the funeral of the dead supreme dictator are not even Iranian, right? And that says something. So let's just dive right into it, POTYPTO. I'd love to hear your initial thoughts. And then I know you sent me some links. I will bring them up. I have some links prepared as well, but let's just dive right into it. So your initial thoughts on this, on everything. What would you like our viewers to know?
Very good questions, Goldie, as always. But before we continue, I just wanted to point out what's remaining of the so-called supreme leader already traveling to Iraq, and I think he has the tour of his life for the first time. He never left freely to visit these places, so I think it's the best tour of his life right now. Yeah, but we don't show.
Potipto, I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the last time that Khamenei, like went on, went outside of occupied Iran, I think it was back in like the 1980s, and I can't remember. I think he went to like North Korea or something like that. Like he went to
Yes,
some random. Was
I
it
think you're
North
right.
Korea?
Yeah, yeah. He has a famous picture hugging Kim Jong Un, if I'm
Yeah,
not
there
wrong.
you go.
Yeah,
So literally, the last country he visited was North Korea. That says a lot about the nature of the Islamic regime.
yeah. And actually, there is right now to this time there is no proof in what's in that box because we don't have the chance of unboxing his uh, funeral party like the last so-called supreme leader like Khomeini, as you saw earlier in that documentary. And I'm sorry that I don't have a chance to see it with you guys, but actually comparing these two funerals between Khomeini and Khamenei gives viewer a lot of clue that what this hypocrisy comes from the beginning to now, and what's the popularity of this regime between the people who started the revolution and right now trying to end this revolution. Because as you saw earlier in the funeral of first supreme dictator Khomeini, honestly, there was some records moves at people gathering in a funeral, because we have so many footages of these, and back then there was no AI song or something like that to montage the attendance to the funeral. So when we saw that funeral of Khomeini, we can actually I can address the fact that the people who trying to attend the funeral of Khomeini was about 20 to 13 kilometers long, and the crowd was so much that I think about 20 to 30 people has died right at the crowded funeral back then in 80s. But right now, Khamenei's funeral, Khamenei's circus funeral, has been attended for about 2 days in Tehran, 1 day in Qom, and right now he's traveling to Najaf and Karbala.
And Najaf and Karbala, guys, for those of you who don't know, Najaf and Karbala are in Iraq. So isn't it like, just think about that, how weird it is that Khamenei, who's supposedly the supreme dictator of the Islamic regime occupying Iran, why are they taking whatever's left of his, refrigerated corpse to Iraq, right? This is literally why I say the Islamic regime is a foreign occupying invading force. They're not Iranian. No other, head of state, has a funeral procession where they literally take the corpse to a different country. But this is another example of proof that the Islamic regime is not Iranian. They're like a foreign Arab invader, and Khamenei himself, he's from like Adal and Najaf and wherever. So that's why. Sorry, Potipto, please continue.
No problem, Goldie. I want to address the fact on this point that it's against Sharia law to preserve a dead body's person for this long time, or travel it at this long distance. So it's an irony for the so-called supreme leader of Muslims of the world that he is acting like a pharaoh of the Egypt. Actually, the most hated people on the Quran, that God Himself calls them kuffar, has the same destiny as supreme leader of Muslims of the world, Khamenei. And it's so funny for me to see the irony of the God has been preparing for him. But I don't want to get lost in my thoughts and answer your questions. You just ask about the crowd of that gathering. If you have time, we can use tools like Google Maps, or actually reports of the Reuters that estimates that the crowd of the people, the most crowded scene of the people who attended to the funeral, about 400 or 500,000 people, less than 500,000. That this propaganda's lobbyist was telling it's about 12 or 20 million people, but we are in the age of technology right now that we can see what's really happening, and we can gather the information and proofs. But just in conclusion, we at the best estimates, top level estimates, that there was under 1 million people who attended this funeral in Tehran. We can talk about Qom, and if we get lucky, some footages come from Iraq. We can talk about that afterwards. But I just want to mention that the last part of this circus come to end in city of Mashhad. And the city of Mashhad, against what's its name called, and what is a picture like, that's a hub of Muslims. Actually, from what I know and from what you can see in the social media, has the highest number of monarchies people right now, and Prince Reza Pahlavi has the highest popularity right now amongst the people. And I just want to address the fact that the city of the Mashhad was the first cities has uprised against the Islamic regime at the late 80s, and there were some facts and proofs like that. But there was actually first people who massacred under the rule of Khamenei. So there's a long story about Mashhad, but you do your own research, and you know what you're gonna know. But in context of comparison, we have so many footages from 8th and 9th January, that a famous boulevard in Mashhad called Vakilabad is this boulevard is called, it has the length about if I don't get it wrong, 10 to 12 kilometers in length. And I have direct proofs and direct news and direct observation that, and you also saw very footages of the people that night that crowded the whole boulevard. I think that was easily more than 1 million people who come to call off the Princess of Pahlavi on that very night, against armed snipers and armed militias who were shooting them. But at that hard situation, people easily crowded the whole length of this boulevard. But right now, the main challenge for the regime, from what I've gathered, from intel I've gathered, is to fulfill this boulevard right now. And I think that the last measure that we can tell the regime has failed in morality, or failed to gathering these people, comes after the footages of this attendant from Thursday or Friday, when they're going to turn his circus and his body in this boulevard and go to the shrine of Imam Reza.
Yeah, no, absolutely. These are all excellent points. So before we get into the actual footage that you've sent me, I think it's important to share the videos. And I shared this video last night, but I'm going to share it again. So this is the AI generated video, numerous AI generated videos that are being spread on social media. not just by the usual, like Jackson Hinkle type garbage jihadi accounts. Official accounts of the Islamic regime are literally sharing AI generated videos of Khamenei's funeral. Of course, starting with our very own Arakchi, the foreign affairs minister. So remember, on the Boom Boom Bingo sheet, okay, this is Arakchi. He's the foreign affairs minister, and he is one of the ones responsible for the negotiations, right? So he's supposedly one of the more quote unquote reasonable ones. So going to this video, wait, let me get the bigger version of this so that you guys can see better. I know I shared this yesterday. Sorry, I know I shared this yesterday, but okay, I gotta mute the audio because the song is copyrighted. But look at this. So Arakchi is literally sharing AI generated videos, and then he claims this is the largest funeral in the history of the world. This number has never been seen before. The journey from warrior to martyr. POTYPTO, isn't this kind of awkward? Because doesn't this mean that he's basically saying that Khamenei's funeral is bigger than Khomeini's? And then isn't Khomeini like the original founder? So isn't that like in a way insulting the founder of the Islamic regime? Like what's going on here?
I think they're just struggling and they don't know what they are saying right now, because telling that it's the largest funeral of history of the world, it's not only comparing to dictators like Ceausescu or anybody else, or dictators of North Korea. It's telling that historical facts are cannot outnumber this people. So it's just gibberish talk from a person who lost his mind because he know what's behind the curtain.
Exactly. So guys, Khamenei's funeral, largest funeral in the history of the world. 10 billion people attended. Guys, 10 billion people attended the funeral of Khamenei, and here's the proof. So there you go. All these AI generated videos. It's just so awkward. Right? And then what's wild is that this AI generated video here, it was posted 3 days before the funeral procession began. And then look at this. Like, this is POTYPTO. Is there any place in Iran where it's basically just like a giant field with roads and no buildings? Because I've never seen anything like this, and yet these videos are being shared online on social media. People are claiming that 20 million, 50 million, I don't know, 10 billion people showed up for the funeral. Look at this. This is it's so obvious that this is AI generated, right? And then we're going to go to the footage and the links that POTYPTO has sent me and would like to share with all of you. Oh yeah, this is my favorite one, guys. So this is my favorite one because I pulled this up last night on Google Maps, but let me pull it up again, okay? So it's wild. It's absolutely wild, okay? So this is the Google Maps version, okay? So this is, you see the tower? That's the tower. By the way, it's not Azadi Tower. It's called, the real name is Shahyad, okay? So it's Shahyad Tower. And this structure was actually commissioned by the Shah of Iran, and I believe it was officially opened in 1973. So just like the communists, and just like what's happening in Western countries, when Islamists and jihadis take over, they rename everything. So they've renamed so many streets, they've renamed so many universities, hospitals, whatever. They've even renamed structures, right? So the Islamic regime changed the name of the structure to Azadi Tower, which is kind of hypocritical because Azadi means freedom. So the Islamic regime changed the name of the tower to Azadi Tower, but then they're literally oppressing the Iranian people, and people aren't free. Anyways, so this is Shahia Tower. Okay, so going back to this image here. Okay, this one here. So that's supposedly the tower. Look at this, right? Where's the meridian? Where's the meridian? How is it that like where do the streets go? Right? There's supposed to be a meridian here. And then look at this. There's a whole bunch of random trees here and here. Okay? But if you actually look at the Google Maps satellite image, first of all, there's the street, there's the meridian. Okay? So that leads to Shahia Tower. And then on top of that, where are all these random trees, right? Like, where are the random trees that are in that AI generated image, right? So this is what I mean. Like, it's honestly like this is so obvious. Anyone with like half a brain cell can tell that this is AI generated. But the Durkas are sharing this because the Durkas have no brain cells, right? Like, they literally lack intelligence. So this is like what they're sharing, and they're like, wow, look at the huge crowd. Meanwhile, even like the AI generated posters, they have words that don't make sense, right? Like this doesn't mean anything. This is a typo. Okay? So
Actually, sorry to interrupt because it's so funny. If you read the Farsi, it's called right rahat shod. It means the supreme leader, stress free. Right now, he's so stress relieved.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to get rid of the two dots on the bottom, right? So because these two dots don't make any sense. But if you get rid of if you get rid of these two dots, then it would say rahat shod, because then this would be a real letter. Right now, this is not a real letter because there's no letter like this shape with two dots under it. But if you get rid of the dots, POTYPTO is right. It says rahat shod, which means he was relieved. So POTYPTO, thank you for sharing that. That is actually really hilarious because now they have a giant AI poster that almost says, Khamenei died and, now he's relieved. So there you go. But this is the reality. This is the reality here. So as you can see, it's very sparse, thin crowds. And we are going to do a deep dive into this, right? But there you go. This is essentially the reality. And here's like like you can see, there's like, a little bit of a crowd here, sure. But then look at all this. Guys, like I've literally attended rock concerts that have had bigger, bigger attendance. And then based on these images here from what people are seeing, the maximum estimated crowd size was 23 to 24,000, right? So that's the actual estimated crowd size. So it's not like, 20 billion or, whatever number the, Durkas are giving to the mainstream media. So there you go. So that's that. So that's the AI videos. And now I wanted to give you guys some context. So let's get to POTYPTO, your first link. And go ahead before I share the link. So this is a helicopter landing of Khamenei's coffin. Look at the crowd. This is how a dictator falls in disgrace. So what's important about this video, POTYPTO, for our viewers?
The most important thing is getting known about, getting informed about the city of Qom. The city of Qom is the head of the religious party in Iran, and the city was active from the years past, years before the revolution. So actually, the city of Qom is more strategically important for Islamic Dorcas to any other city. Because of that, the funeral has been attended in Qom also. And on top of that, we are seeing the place that called Jamkaran. That's a very religious place among the Shia people, because they believe the 12th Imam will visit there. And this place, Jamkaran, if you search about the Jamkaran or religious events on the Jamkaran, at the very default day, the crowd in Jamkaran was more numerous than what's seen right now. That was another irony hitting to so-called supreme leader face and his followers, that even in the center of the religious capital of the Iran, it's like some, I don't want to offend, but it's something like Vatican for
The Shias, yeah.
yes, Vatican for Shias. Thank you for helping me out. And you can see that there's no people right now. There's just some people walking around.
So basically what you're telling me is that they are bringing the coffin of Khamenei to Qom via helicopter, and there's literally no one there to greet it.
Actually, not only there's no one to grieve, I think the 12th Imam and the other people who they were worshipping, I think left the place before he visited them.
There you go. Look at this, guys. So let's watch this. There's like no one here. Okay, so guys, we need to do a comparison here, okay? I've shared this footage, but I think it's really important that, like, we need to share this again, okay? Because this is how you can, you know, see the difference when it comes to the height of Durqa in occupied Iran, right? So let me go to that, the Khomeini Khamenei'S documentary. Sorry, let me pull it up. It's this one. Okay. So if we go to this part, okay, so this is the difference, okay? This is the difference between the footage that you just saw versus the funeral footage for Khamenei, Khamenei'S, the founder of the Islamic regime, back in 1999. Sorry, 1989. And as usual, we're gonna put our music on, you know, the fitting music. So guys, so remember, 1989, this is the height of Durqa in occupied Iran. Okay, so look at this, look at the crowd size here, look at how everyone's reacting. And then we're gonna go back and we're gonna go watch the helicopter video for Khamenei. And you can see a noticeable difference in the crowd size. Okay, so let's watch Khomeini, again, the height of Durqa in occupied Iran. Here's the helicopter going. So as they get closer to the area, the crowd gets bigger and bigger, right? So, like, this is a real crowd, right? This is a real crowd. It's not AI generated. No, that's an American helicopter. Those are American helicopters purchased by the Shah of Iran before 1979. Yeah, they're using American helicopters to transport the corpse of their dead Muslim pedophile dictator. So, there you go. So literally, huge crowd, right? And then the crowd just like comes in, right? Like, it's just wild. So everyone's just like, oh, la, 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 right? Like, and then the crowd just like jumps right in, right? And then everyone's like, you know, they're all hitting their heads and they're like, oh, la, 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 Allahu Akbar, whatever, right? Like, they're just literally hitting their heads. Again, this is the height of Durka, right? Like, when I tell you they're like an Islamic jihadi death cult, right? Like, look at this. And then look, they're literally all surrounding the helicopter. And then this guy's like, what's happening? What's happening? What's going on? What's happening? What is it? And then everyone's just hitting their heads, right? They're like, oh, right? And then, you know, they're crowd surfing, right? So kind of like a rock concert, I guess, right? So there you go. And then the helicopter tried to go up and then they dragged the helicopter down. So yeah, these people are insane. There we go. So that's pretty much okay. And then, you know, the Durka continues, but I just wanted to share the helicopter scene. Guys, anyone who wants to see the full documentary, I live streamed it last week, so you can go and find it under the Goldie Show playlists, where we do a 2-part documentary watch party on this Durka funeral. However, going back to the footage from Khamenei'S funeral. So compare this from 1989 to this, okay? This is 2026. This is the helicopter for Khamenei'S. And as you can see, as he's landing, compare the crowd size, compare the difference, right? This in and of itself tells you everything you need to know about how much support the Islamic regime actually has. Look at this. Like, it's not even comparable. Look at that. That's it. It's actually like really embarrassing when when you think about it. It's actually super embarrassing. And then I'm going to go to the next link that POTYPTO said again. So this is talking about the so-called, millions of people who came out for Khamenei'S funeral.
Goldie, before you continue, can I have a quick question?
Sorry to
interrupt. Sorry. Because you are already mentioning the slang of Khameni'S, and I think you were always telling that since I was remembering you. I want to just ask a question. How does it feel to cover the Khameni'S?
It feels so good. It feels great to cover the Khamenei'S of Khamenei. Yes, it feels great. And, to celebrate, I also have my Savak mug with me. So there you go. I'm definitely in a celebratory mood, celebrating the, Khamenei'S of Khamenei with my Savak mug. So there you go. I love that. Anyways, let's continue. So now, this is the one that we are sharing here. So this is again, so POTYPTO, for our non-Iranian viewers, where is this?
This is the street that actual street that you was showing on the Google Maps satellite image, the Azadi street, and it's just a slap of the cameraman, because he hit the record buttons before he zoomed in the crowd. So when you play, you can see before you play, you can see the emptiness in front of his body, Supreme Leader body. But after he's zooming in, he's pretending that the crowd is huge.
And that's one of the tricks of the Islamic regime, right? Like they zoom in and they use different angles to make the crowd look much bigger. So this, this cameraman made a mistake, started recording and went live or whatever before he zoomed in. So this is, this is what it is. Right? And then he zooms in, right? So when you look at this angle, obviously, this looks like a crowd of millions, right? Because you're seeing a zoomed in cropped angle. But when you actually zoom out, it doesn't look that crowded, does it? Look at this. And then and they're all just like Allahu Akbar, right? Like God is great, right? Look at that. So this is the supposed crowd of millions, right? Like how many people are here? Like 5,000 maybe? Not even? Like this is so embarrassing, guys. This is actually this is literally how many Durkas showed up for Khamenei's funeral, right? So compare that to this versus this. That is a huge difference here. So for anyone who's wondering how many people actually showed up, this is the answer, right? So when we say that the Islamic regime has less than 5% support of Iranians in occupied Iran, we're not exaggerating, right? Like but of course, when you zoom in and use certain angles, then it looks more crowded. There you go. So that's one Durka. Now let's go to this one, POTYPTO. Oh, so POTYPTO, what's this?
He's one of the actually this footage is a selection of the funniest moments at the funeral, and at the second frame you can see the oldest son of the Khamenei that people are touching to worship him.
Okay, so guys, this is the best stuff. This is the best stuff. Should I play with audio? Do they actually say anything relevant here?
I don't think so, because it's a selection. But before we continue, I just want to mention that worshipping a person, it's a crime that can end you up in beheading in Islam, Sharia law.
Yeah, exactly. Like worshipping someone is called shirk or something, and you're not allowed to worship people because that's against worshiping Allah, right? Like they're demon gods. So anyways, all right, let me see. I'll start playing this, and then if I feel like we need music, I might add music to this, but let's just listen to this and see what the audio is. So this is a 3-minute compilation of the best of. So these are the best scenes from Khamenei's funeral. Oh no, one of his concubines faded. One of his concubines fainted. Isn't that illegal? I thought in Islam, a man isn't supposed to touch a woman if they're non-mahram. So that's technically illegal. They're not supposed to be touching her, right?
You know what's more illegal? She, even if she fainted, but she don't let go to the bottled water in her hand and the mobile phone in her hand.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I didn't even notice that. Guys, look at this. Look at this. She supposedly fainted, but she's holding on to her phone. Phone and water bottle. Oh my gosh, POTYPTO. I didn't even notice that. Look at that, guys. How can you faint but still be holding on to your phone? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Oh, this is the eldest son of Khamenei, right?
Yes, right.
So, okay, so a question, I know this is a question our viewers have had. So why isn't the eldest son the Ayatollah? Why is Mujtaba the Ayatollah and not the oldest one. Do we know why, or
There is so many rumors, and actually people in the street believe he's not the son of the Khamenei. He's son of Khamenei's wife or something like that. I don't want to
he's like a
talk
bastard
about
son?
that.
Yeah,
Yes,
makes
but
sense.
yeah, actually, I just don't want to mention that.
Okay, so apparently this guy is the bastard. He's not actually the real son of Khamenei, apparently. So that's why he's not the supreme dictator, because apparently Khamenei's wife cheated on him or something. Anyways, guys, it's like Durka gossip, right? Anyways.
امام صادق فرمود به اندازه نگینم گشتری.
Ew, why does everyone want to touch this stinky guy? Look at him. Ew, they're like wiping their scarves on his face to like get his sweat so they can then like worship his sweat, right? Ugh. Whoa, look at those eyebrows. Oh my gosh, guys, like listen, I'm a big fan of makeup, but those eyebrows, like what in the Allahu Akbar jihad are you doing to your eyebrows? Like Khaiktu said it. Honestly, like guys, literally, like some of the best beauticians are in occupied Iran. Like literally the best people for like makeup and like stuff like that are like Iranian women. And they have these amazing businesses. And yet like look at your eyebrows, like khijalat bekesh, like just go to like a proper salon and get your eyebrows done properly.
غذا میدم ما غذا میگیریم اینجا.
What is that? That's supposedly food?
غذا میکنیم یه دم گوه میکنن گوهخوری مملکت میکنن.
صبحانه بفرمایید، علویه بفرمایید.
Ew, what is this? They're giving out like bread with like chicken salad. But it's just like, guys, you can probably tell like the chicken salad is like gone bad because it's literally just out in the open in like the heat, right? Like this is the height of summer in occupied Iran right now. Oh, and then look, that's the flag of Pakistan. Ew. Look at that. That's the flag of Pakistan right there. So this Pakistani mullah is like, oh, my inbred jihadi Durka brother, and he's holding like the flag of Pakistan, right? Yep.
And
بالای ماشین کاروان حمل پیکر محمد شهید است.
ما باید جونم رو فدای آقا کنیم. اینکه آقا جونش رو فدای ما کنه.
I just want to point something out. In 2022, Mahsa Amini, the 22-year-old Kurdish woman, she was murdered by the Islamic regime morality police. She was literally beaten to death because she was not wearing her mandatory hijab properly. She was showing less hair than this, prostitute of the Islamic regime, right? So look at how much hair she's showing. Iranian women have literally been beaten to death for much less than this. So this is just, I just want to point out the hypocrisy here. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Wow. So guys, in the next one, now I have the full video of that's translated, and I'll share that later, but it's a good time to bring this up. So one of the chants that the Durkas were giving is like the Shah, right? First of all, Shah is an Iranian word, okay? So the word Shah has nothing to do with Islam or Arabs or, you know, whatever, right? Like Shah is Iranian, okay? It's a word that's existed for thousands of years before Islam was invented. In the next chant, like in the next scene, this one here, okay? So the people are chanting that the real Shah is the one in Najaf in Iraq, not the dishonorable Pahlavi. So in Khamenei's funeral, they're literally chanting against His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince of Iran, or, you know, as I like to call him, the Shah of Iran, or Reza Pahlavi. What's really interesting about this is that through this very chant, they're pretty much admitting that Reza Pahlavi is the Shah of Iran, right? So, I mean, my message to these Durkas and all the Durkas out there is, you know, get used to it. Keep on saying Shah, keep on saying the word Shah, keep on saying the word Pahlavi until your jihadi mouths get used to it, get comfortable saying Shah and Pahlavi. Because moving forward, you're only going to be saying the words Shah and Pahlavi more and more, right? But the fact that they're even chanting and saying the words like Shah and Pahlavi, like that's music to my ears. ادامه بدید انقدر بگین شاه انقدر بگین پهلوی تا دهن نجستون عادت بکنه و یاد بگیره. Anyways, that's the chant here. There's no such thing as the Shah of Najaf because Shah is Iranian and the only Shah is the Iranian Shah. There's no Arab Shah. They have sultans or, you know, sheikhs or, you know, whatever. Shah is specifically for the Persian Empire, right? But I love that. I want to listen to that again. Honestly, it's music to my ears. POTYPTO خوشم میاد میگن پهلوی و شاه. دهنشون داره عادت میکنه، دارن یاد میگیرن.
منم یه چیزی اضافه بکنم. اینجا مثلا اینجا میبینی که فارسی میگه، اینجا میبینی که مثلا رو در دیوار مینویسن مثلا مرگ بر پهلوی یا مثلا روی هر چیز میخوان در مورد پهلوی مینویسن. بعد من همش این تو ذهنم تکرار میشه که شما مگه پهلوی رو 50 سال پیش شکست ندادین؟ خب الان دارین اعتراف میکنین که پهلوی هنوز زنده است و دستتون بهش نمیرسه.
Yeah. Exactly. So POTYPTO is saying that he also enjoys it when he sees all the Durkas like write graffiti on the walls that says like, you know, Magbar, you know, like death to Pahlavi or whatever, not because of, you know, the chant, not because of the, you know, the what they're writing itself, but because that signals to him that these Durkas are afraid of the current Pahlavi, right? Because if these Durkas were so confident in the revolution, well, I mean, didn't they win the revolution back in 1979 when they kicked out the Shah of Iran, the previous Shah of Iran? So why are they so concerned today, right? So whenever these Durkas are attacking the current Shah of Iran, or insulting, you know, His Royal Highness or whatever, that is not really like, that doesn't signal strength. That signals weakness, right? That signals the fact that these Durkas are worried. Because even today, why are they chanting that the real Shah is some dead Arab warlord in Najaf, and then they're attacking Pahlavi, right? Because they are concerned. Why? Because they know that His Royal Highness Reza Pahlavi, the Shah of Iran, is a legitimate, credible threat to the Islamic regime. They also know that the Islamic regime is collapsing and that it's only a matter of time before His Royal Highness comes back to transition Iran from totalitarian Islamic dictatorship to a functioning secular democratic society. So that's why I really enjoy this. You know what? I do enjoy it when they say the words Shah and Pahlavi. I don't really care about the rest of it, right? The rest of it, just, you know, in one ear, out the other. But I like that their mouths are getting used to saying the word Pahlavi. Like, get used to it, right? Because POTYPTO, like 2 or 3 years ago, they would have never been chanting anything about the Shah or Pahlavi. the fact that they're doing it now shows how concerned they are and how scared they are.
Exactly.
Exactly.
حضور میلیونی مردم در تشییع رهبر شهید نشانه چیه؟ شما با چه هدفی تشریف آوردید؟
نشانه اتحاد مردمه.
You know, all this crying, POTYPTO, I still haven't seen a single tear. Like, these people are really good at fake crying. Guys, those are the Dementors, remember? They're the Dementors. So these are the Dementors. The Dementors have left Azkaban and they've gone to occupied Iran, right, to mourn the death of the arch dictator Khamenei. So look at this one. Wait, this one reminds me of something. Okay, this one here, like, this reminds me of was it in like the Lord of the Rings? There was like was it Lord of the Rings or something? There's like a hooded beast that, like, you don't see its face, but you just see like a giant mouth or something. What's that? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Was it? Oh, yeah, it was this one. Okay, yeah, this is what it is. This is what it is. This, guys. I found it.
The
Okay.
ones who were looking for the ring.
Yeah. Well, the Nazgul, yeah, but this is a different one. So guys, this is one. Okay, so that looks like this, right? So all the rest of them, like, those are like the regular Nazguls. But then this one here, okay, this one here. So these are like the regular Nazguls, and then this one here is like the mouth of Sauron, right? Like, that's what she reminds me of. So there you go. Like, these people are crazy. Oh wait, guys, wait, POTYPTO, that was the wet t-shirt contest, guys. That was the wet t-shirt contest. Look at that. Look, they're standing in front of the water, and they're just like, guys. It's the Jihadi Durka wet t-shirt contest at Khamenei's funeral, right? Oh yeah, Murdral, Wheel of Time. Yes, Wheel of Time, Murdral as well. Yes, I'm a big Wheel of Time nerd. Definitely like the Murdral. But yes, guys. So Khamenei's funeral apparently had a wet t-shirt contest as well. There you go. I didn't know. Oh my gosh, he has his sundies. He's got his juice, his free juice, right? So this Durka, right, he's basically showing off the fact that, by virtue of attending Khamenei's funeral, he got a free juice, and he's literally kissing the juice. Like, what in the Allahu Akbar jihad is this? Sandis خور عوضی. Oh no, guys, look, they're tearing up the poster of President Trump. Do you remember which poster this is? Guys, this is a poster that I shared yesterday. Here, let me pull it up. This is the one. Okay? So
Actually, before they were started tearing off this poster, they were attacking this poster with stones and water bottles.
Yeah, exactly. So
they're hitting them. So
I know, it's so funny. So guys, the poster that they're tearing up, this is a footage from from earlier, and so you can see all these like Durkas. They're throwing stones at the poster, but then the stones fall and land on the people below. So keep an eye here, because you're going to see people, they're like, ah, no, and then they start running away, right? So this is the poster that they're now today, right? Then I guess they got so angry that they're now tearing up this poster of President Trump that the Islamic regime put up. Remember, the poster is basically threatening President Trump, but the Durkas are like, oh, no, President Trump's face, we have to like tear down the poster. Right? And then while they're like, you know, tearing this poster, they're all like, Allahu Akbar, God is great, right? Like literally. Like they can't actually do anything to the United States, right? Because the United States is very strong. The Islamic regime only has the strength to murder innocent, unarmed Iranians. So that they can do very easily, no problem. But when it comes to the United States and Israel, they have no strength, right? They have no ability to you know, do a meaningful attack in any way, shape, or form. So instead, what they do is, you know, they tear up pieces of paper, and then they're like, Allahu Akbar, God is great, right? So this is how they cope. This is how they cope. Oh yeah, guys. So again, here, so people are throwing like pieces of clothing at this thing that's carrying all these like coffins or whatever. And then as you can see, like the people catch it, and then they like rub the coffin. Like they rub the coffin with the cloth, and then they throw it back into the crowd, right? So you see, although this guy, like, yeah, like he's just like he's so done with it, right? So he rubs it, and then he throws it back into the crowd, and then he catches another one. You can see him rubbing it, right? He rubs the coffin, then he throws it back into the crowd. So there you go. That's apparently some other, like, I don't know, jihadi thing these people do. I mean, it's very weird. I don't personally understand it. Like, I don't know. I would never go to a funeral and just like, you know, throw my scarf at someone and be like, rub the coffin with my scarf and give it back to me for jihadi blessings, right? But that's pretty much what's happening. There you go. So that's a 3-minute best of compilation. And then I think this is the final link that you sent me, POTYPTO, that I'd like to share. So, oh, this is the moment Araghchi escapes from the angry hardliners. What? What is this?
Do you remember that, Goldie, we were mentioning how that a huge dividends are in between the people inside the regime? That's a proof of that.
Okay, so here they're going after Araghchi. All right, let's watch this, and then I'll translate it after. Guys, that's Araghchi. Okay, so guys, this is Araghchi. Guys, Game of Durka just intensified. Remember, this is Araghchi, okay? Araghchi is supposedly one of the ones who is compromising with the great Satan, right? With the United States. That's you, the great Satan, the Kafirs, the infidels. You know, he's the one that President Trump is like, oh yeah, this guy's more reasonable or whatever, right? Even though he's not, right? But anyway, so look at this. So now the Game of Durka just intensified, because this is Araghchi, and then as he's walking away, the Islamic regime supporters, they start chanting Bisharaf, which means honorless or dishonorable, right? So, I mean, first of all, Bisharaf is what the rest of us Iranians call the Islamic regime and their supporters, right? So, first of all, everyone in this video is a Bisharaf, okay? That's the first thing I want to make very clear. So, everyone in this video is a Bisharaf. They're all Muslim Nazis. They're all terrorists, right? But as POTYPTO pointed out, this is more proof of the infighting, okay? So, the infighting, you know, the game of Durka, it's intensifying because now Islamic regime supporters from a different faction are now going after Arakchi and they're calling him dishonorable. That's a huge crowd. Guys, remember, these people are all savage, right? They're violent. Remember, the people that you're seeing in these videos right now, they're the same ones who are responsible for the murder of over 40,000 innocent unarmed Iranians on January 8 and 9 alone. Not to mention the, murder, rape, torture, execution, and hanging of hundreds of thousands of Iranians in the last 47 years, right? So these are the same people. So they're literally savages. So for anyone who's wondering, it's pronounced Bisharaf, like this. There you go. So they're chanting Bisharaf with an F at the end. And oh my gosh, I need to watch this again. This is so funny.
Would you believe that the Dorka people actually telling what you want to say to Arakchi? They are actually on your side right now.
They are, yeah, absolutely. Like they're calling Arakchi Bisharaf, on behalf of the rest of us, right? I mean, they themselves, they're Bisharafs too, but it's so funny seeing this infighting. Like, why don't you just kotak the guy, guys? Like, just go after one another. I fully support the Durka versus Durka infighting. Like, just let the Durkas, like, put them in a giant cage and let them just, like, fight it out to the death or something, right? Wow. And then there's also, where is it? Okay, here's another angle of this. So let's watch this one. Oh wow. Okay, so you hear this one woman, she's like Bisharaf Harumzadeh, which means like you dishonorable bastard. Okay, so basically like you dishonorable illegitimate child. Okay, that's what she says. Bisharaf Harumzadeh is that part. And then she says Bisharaf something else, and that's like a rude swear word, but basically like just another swear word, right? So she's like, you dishonorable illegitimate person, and then you dishonorable swear word, and then you hear like a guy's voice in the video and he's like stop it, like don't say that or something. Like don't say that. Wow, guys, they're going full hard with the swearing at Arakchi right now. Which, by the way, like, this is not normal, okay? Because, remember, prior to Khamenei dying, Khamenei'S, the Islamic regime was very, cohesive, at least externally. And anyone who went after, like, a top official, like, you know, Arakchi or whoever, that's basically like a death sentence. But now that Khamenei is dead and there's all this like infighting, the game of Durka has become even more pronounced. And now, you know, different jihadis are attacking different factions. And so now these jihadis are literally are you know they're attacking Arakchi and swearing at him. That's crazy. We're going to see more of that as well. And guys, if you recall last week, I actually shared footage from one of the Islamic regime parliament members, you know, one of the Durka seat warmers. If I go to the Boom Boom Bingo sheet, he was here. Remember the guy that was one of the 289? And, you know, he put out this statement where he was basically accusing Ghalibov and Pezeshkian, and basically he was accusing the Supreme Security Council of trying to initiate a political coup d'etat and overthrow Mujtaba, the dead, you know, well, the cardboard Ayatollah, and take over. And what's really interesting is that in this entire funeral procession, funeral, you know, carnival, circus, freak show, whatever, we still haven't actually seen Mujtaba. We still haven't seen the current supreme dictator, which is incredibly weird. Now, here's the thing. There was this, this showed up on Iran International, and I thought this was actually really funny. So apparently, this other jihadi mullah, he was mistaken for Mujtaba. So apparently, when he showed up, people for some reason thought that he was Mujtaba, and then everyone got really excited, and they're like, "Oh my gosh! Like the supreme leader is here. The supreme leader showed up." But here you go. Well, let's watch this together. So people saw that, and then they thought that was Mujtaba. Wow. So even, oh my gosh, guys. So even the person who's introducing this mullah literally said that Mujtaba showed up. So the announcer, like the MC is inaccurately saying that Mujtaba showed up, but it wasn't him.
قبل از اینکه اقامه نماز بخواد باشه، یکی از بچهای صدا و سیما گفت حاجی بیا یه سری هم به بچهای ما بزن رو پشت بوم. 20 روزه که اینا اونجا زیر آفتاب و گرما و سرما. گفتم بریم. تیم به اون جایی که در تصاویر وایرال شده این اونور رسیدیم، از اون بالا نگاه کردیم، دیدم یه مجموعه ای از دختر بچه‌ها دور هم، از همه زودتر اونا چشمشون به من افتاد. شروع کردن دختر بچه‌های شاید دبستانی یا مثلا راهنمایی بودن، به طرف من دست تکون دادن. من تا دستمو بالا بردم طرف اینا بای بای کنم، یه دفعه تمام جمعیتی که توی
Whoa, did the mullah just say bye bye? Did he just speak English? Guys, maybe this mullah, like why is this mullah speaking English? Wow, isn't that like haram or something? That was so weird. Did you guys catch that?
بردم طرف اینا بای بای کنم، یه دفعه تمام جمعیتی که توی مصلی نشسته بود به تصور این که آقا تشریف آوردن از جا کنده شدن. متوجه قضیه شدم که اینا اشتباه گرفتن.
So funny. Wow. So
actually, I love the fact that Goldie, he's so excited that he cannot hide his smile even at the, right now on the front of the camera.
Like, that's how insane these people are. He's like, oh my gosh, I was mistaken for Mujtaba Khamenei. Maybe I have a future. Guys, by the way, remember, any mullah, any one of these mullahs that has a black turban, the black turban means that they're a descendant of Muhammad, the dead warlord, right? So anyone with a black turban, they're not Iranian, right? Because their lineage traces back to Muhammad, who was a dead Arab warlord. So a lot of these Durkas think that, you know, wearing a black turban is like a good thing, but that black turban, it pretty much confirms that these jihadis are not Iranian. They're like the, you know, the descendants of, you know, the dead Arab warlord that they worship, Muhammad. So like this guy is not Iranian, right? Like his lineage doesn't trace back to Iranian roots. That's why I say that the Islamic regime is a foreign occupying invader. And then even like Khamenei, Khabar Margish, and you know Khomeini Khabar Margish, and the current Khamenei, whatever, hope for his Khabar Margish, right? They're all called Sayyid. So guys, anyone who is a Sayyid, that's spelled Seyyd, okay? So Sayyid. Anyone who's a Sayyid is essentially, that means that they are a descendant of Muhammad, the dead Arab warlord. So if you're a descendant of Muhammad, the dead Arab warlord, obviously you're not Iranian, right? Because no Iranian is a descendant of a dead Arab warlord. We Iranians were descendants of Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Persian Empire from 2,500 years ago. So this is just another proof and example of how, like, you know, these mullahs and this ideology and the Islamic regime, they're not Iranian. It's a foreign, you know, Arab occupying invasion, right? So I just want to point that out as well. So yeah, anyone with a black turban is not Iranian. Anyone with a black turban is Arab. So there you go. But of course they speak fluent Persian because they've invaded and they've taken over. So that's, I just wanted to point that out as well. On a little bit of a different note, POTYPTO, though, I wanted to also share some footage of what Iranians have been doing during the funeral of Khamenei. And I know you know, but before we get into it, because we've shared a lot of, you know, Durka videos and a lot of things like that, but so before we get into that, POTYPTO, what is the actual mood? And guys, so for everyone who's watching, we will go to super chats in about 20 minutes. So any questions you have, feel free to keep them coming. We'll get to them in about 20 minutes or so. Yeah, so what is the current mood? Before I play this video, we've seen the Durkas, but what are Iranians actually thinking and feeling, and what's going on?
Yeah, actually, I have two tweets about this matter, and it's like everybody knows drinking in Iran, occupied Iran, is prohibited and comes with jail penalty. Okay, but as I see and as I noticed, any people who can or sell drinking stuff like alcohols or vodka or something else are reaching all-time high on the profits from the starting their businesses. That tells a lot that everybody are celebrating and enjoying their moment. But in matter of the content you're sharing right now, there were direct footages that you can access through traffic cameras. You can see traffic in the main roads in Iran. There's a website and platform for that, and there's a beautiful pattern on this side. When the funeral was attending in Tehran, people was traveling through cities of northern places of Iran, the places that they can gather, party, and enjoy themselves, except what regime thinks. And even when Khomeini is coming to Mashhad, northern eastern part of the Iran, we saw this pattern repeating right now, because everybody in Mashhad and Khorasan are traveling west and north to enjoy their moment. So they are just seizing the moment, seizing the holidays, and enjoying themselves to the fullest.
Well, that's exactly what I've been noticing, and yeah. So let's share this first one here, and then I have a few more as well. But so these are how real Iranians are mourning or celebrating the funeral of the dead supreme dictator. I love this song.
I'm dancing right now, but I cannot share with you.
What? Were you dancing too?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, guys!
The song is so happily and make me dance every time.
So guys, so this song here, this is like a very popular song, and it's like, you know, one of those songs where like whenever you hear it, you just have to dance, right? So it's one of those fun Iranian party songs, right? And then so this is how Iranians are celebrating the funeral of Khamenei. Someone just turned up the volume or brought like a loudspeaker or something, and then everyone is literally, and everyone's outside of their cars and they're all dancing. And guys, remember, the reason that the footage is blurred is because they have to protect their identities because they live in a totalitarian Islamic dictatorship, right? Public singing is haram, public dancing is haram, and definitely celebrating the funeral of the dead supreme dictator Khamenei is definitely haram. So that's why the top part of this video is blurred. It's to basically protect everyone's identities. But as you can see, everyone in this tunnel, and by the way, the reason people are in this tunnel is because everyone is pretty much leaving Tehran, and they're using the funeral procession of the dead Muslim pedophile dictator Khamenei. They're using that as an excuse to go for holidays. So everyone's like driving north, right? Everyone's going to different places to, you know, spend a few days in, you know, holiday, vacation, whatever the case may be, basically to get out of the city and away from all the Durka jihadi nonsense. And then so they're caught in traffic, and so they start dancing. Here you go. Oh god. There you go. Oh man, such a good song. So there's that one. I have a little bit more footage as well. So there's one. Let me just make sure I have it here. Where's the rest? I have a few more. Oh no, where's the rest? I think that was it, maybe. Okay. That's the only one that I see that I have on my list for today. But I mean, there's definitely, you know, a lot more footage that I'll be sharing for sure. POTYPTO, if you have any links, you're welcome to send them to me as well. But I wanted to share that for sure. And let's see, is this? Let's go back to, okay, I have more footage for you guys. So, you know, my team and I have been working, and we've got a lot of footage. So here's more examples. So again, because this particular episode of Iran Revolution Live is focusing on the crowd size at the funeral, here you go. So this is more footage of the crowd size at Khamenei's funeral. Remember, so this, okay, so you know, this is, you know what perspective this is, guys? You see this? This is, oh, I already closed it, but let me, oh wait, POTYPTO sent me something. Let me show you where this is. Remember, so I shared this earlier, but let me pull it up again. So remember the tower? Okay. So remember the tower, okay? Shahiyad Tower. And then you see how here it's got kind of like almost like a hexagon type style, hexagon type shape, okay? So imagine that you're standing in front of the tower and you're looking west towards the road, okay? That's this perspective here, That's this perspective. So you can see the hexagons. The tower is back here, and then this is people like looking westwards. Okay, so this is the real size of the crowd. Now remember, compare this to that AI generated video. Remember, let me pull up the AI generated video again to give you guys better context. Wait, I can't play that. Where is it? Here we go. Okay. So remember, this is the AI generated video where it shows this massive crowd of supposedly millions of peoples. And they're all going towards the tower. Okay. So this is the AI generated image. Now, again, so this is the tower, and then that AI generated image would be like somewhere here, okay? And then they're basically looking towards the tower. So they're looking eastward towards the tower, okay? So this is what the AI generated image is showing. However, this is the real image. Now, this is the opposite direction. So this would be from the perspective of, let's say you're standing at the base of the tower and you're looking westwards, right? So you're looking westwards towards the road. That's where the tower is. And this is the reality. So this is actually the crowd size. So again, anyone who's wondering how big the crowds are, here's your answer right here on that. Okay, and we have another one here that POTYPTO said. Thank you so much, POTYPTO. Let me just pull this up as well. But guys, there is, let me put it this way. There's no end to the amount of footage that shows how small the crowd size actually is, right? So look at this.
This one needs a translation because I think he's a man that travels from Canada to this place and feels betrayed.
Oh, he travels from Canada and he feels betrayed. Okay, let's watch.
ببین رهبر خیلی تنهات گذاشتن اینو.
So okay, so he's like ببین رهبر, like oh my gosh, our leader. خیلی تنهات گذاشتن اینجا. So they've left you all alone. Basically, like they've abandoned you.
ببین رهبر خیلی تنهات گذاشتن اینو.
He's like they've abandoned you, right? So guys, even the Durka jihadis themselves are literally admitting that no one is showing up and pretty much everyone's abandoned Khamenei, right? Look at that.
قرار بود یه روزی بیا من نزدیکت بگم رهبر همه دارن بهت خیانت میکنن.
He's like, oh my gosh, everyone's insulting you, and then he starts crying, right? He's like, basically, this Durka jihadi is freaking out that the crowds are so small, right? So he's freaking out. He's like, why are the crowds so small?
خیانت کردن.
He's like, خیانت کردن. He's like, they've like committed crimes, like they've insulted you. He's like, I've come here to like pay my respects, and like where's everyone? They've abandoned you. So basically he's freaking out. So the rest of the speech is pretty much him freaking out over like how little people are there, to honor their dead Muslim pedophile dictator, right?
کردن من اومدم اینجا بالا سره. ببین اینا واسه تو نقشی کشیده بودن. این یک ودا نیست. من گریه هامو کردم دیگه. مرد میشم گریه ندارم.
He's like, I've shed my tears. I'm going to be a man now and I'm not going to cry anymore. He's like, they laid out a plan for you, right? So basically, he says that they laid out a plan for you, which kind of implies like they planned your execution. So again, this is basically like game of Durka, right? So now this guy who is so upset by the fact that Khamenei's funeral is not very well attended is now complaining about these conspiracy theories apparently from other Durkas to like, you know, get rid of Khamenei.
گریه ندارم ولی تا جان دارم واسه حفظ ایران و استقلال ایران.
Wow. Okay, so first of all, he's not referring to Iran Khamenei. So basically he's saying I have no tears, but then he's like, but as long as there's life in me, I'm going to fight for Iran. Buddy, he's not fighting for Iran, he's fighting for the Islamic regime, right? This is a different this is how Islamic regime supporters gaslight, right? Because he's saying I'm going to fight for Iran. No, you're a Tazi, you're an Islamic Arab invader, and you're basically fighting for the Islamic regime. Okay?
ببین تو ایرانی ترین ایرانی بودی ها. ببین رهبر.
Wow. So there's the number of crowds there as well. So yeah, there you go. POTYPTO sent a few more, so let me pull those up as well. Let me just add this to my list so I don't repeat this. And yeah, guys, we're going to go to Super Chats in about 10-15 minutes, just as soon as I'm done sharing some of these links that POTYPTO has sent. Okay, look at this one here. Also, guys, remember, the reason I'm not really focusing on geopolitics in Iran Revolution Live is because Iran Revolution Live is specifically about Iran, what's happening in occupied Iran, sharing that perspective with you. I know that there is some breaking news about, you know, President Trump and the oil and, you know, things like that. I will be speaking about that on tonight's evening edition of the Goldie Show, because the Goldie Show is all about, you know, geopolitics in the Middle East and, you know, analyzing everything that's going on. So definitely make sure that if you're watching whichever platform that you're watching from, make sure that you like and subscribe, because tonight, this evening, I will be doing a deep dive on what's been happening when it comes to geopolitics in the Middle East. But Iran Revolution, but yeah, keep your questions and comments coming, absolutely, because I'm more than happy to see them. And, you know, I'll take note of them for tonight's evening live stream. But yeah, absolutely, guys, there is a lot to talk about tonight on the Goldie Show, and we are going to dive right in. But yes, Iran Revolution Live is specifically about what's happening in Iran with the Durkas, with the Game of Thrones, with the Game of Durka, you know, with the Iranian people's fight to overthrow the Islamic regime, and of course, His Royal Highness King Reza Pahlavi. So I just want to make that very clear. But I have not forgotten about the geopolitics, and we will be doing a deep dive into that tonight, and I'm very excited for that as well. So yeah, we will get into that tonight. Okay, this is another link that POTYPTO sent. So look at this. This is Qom. Again, Qom, remember, Qom is like the jihadi version of the Vatican, okay? This is the crowd size. This is the crowd size for the dead supreme dictator. And remember, Qom is literally like the capital of Durka, okay? It's the Vatican for Durkas, and yet even in Qom, the crowd size is super, super small, right? Which just goes to show you how little support the Islamic regime actually has for the Iranian people. Or sorry, how little support the Iranian people have for the Islamic regime, I should be saying. Sorry. I mean, the Islamic regime doesn't support the Iranian people at all. That's a given. But yeah, there you go. Like, it's just, all right. Now we have this post as well that POTYPTO wanted to share. So this person writes, The funeral procession for Khamenei was supposed to start from Damavand Street this morning and end at Azadi Square. A ton of people had come from early morning to Damavand Street, but suddenly it was announced that the coffin would move from in front of Sharif University. By the way, Sharif University used to be called IRANIAN University because the Shah of Iran built that university. And then when the Islamic jihadis took over, they renamed the university that the Shah of Iran had built. So I just want to make that clear. So it's, I think it's IRANIAN University. A lot of folks who had made their way to East Tehran based on the announced schedule ended up frustrated and disoriented, forced to trek on foot all the way to the west side. That's a big trek because Tehran's a big city. The wave of criticism against the Tehran IRGC commander for managing the ceremony, turning an epic into a crisis, got so intense that he had to apologize. Now, in pro-regime circles, the criticisms have gone even further, with some of them saying there was no need for all this ceremony across multiple cities and over consecutive days in the first... Wow! Oh my gosh, look at this! The game of Durka is intensifying behind the scenes. Some of these Durkas are saying there was no need for all this ceremony across multiple cities and over consecutive days in the first place. They say if it had been held for just 1 or 2 days in limited hours, way more people would have shown up. So guys, basically, the Durkas, okay, so the Durkas know that attendance has been very low, okay? The Durkas know that they have no support. They know that attendance has been very low. However, as it is with the Durkas, they never want to admit that they have zero support, right? Because if they admit that they have zero support, then that basically means that they're acknowledging that they're an illegitimate terrorist organization, right? So basically, they're now claiming, right? So in order to justify the low turnout, they're claiming that this low turnout is because the organizers planned the ceremony over several days, right? So they say if it had been held for just 1 or 2 days and limited hours, way more people would have shown up. See, this is the key right here. Way more people would have shown up if it was just in 1 or 2 days, right? So they're freaking out. So basically, here's what essentially what happened. The Islamic regime planned this, 5-day, 6-day funeral circus for their dead Muslim pedophile dictator, Khamenei'S. And they just assumed that, so many people from around the world are going to show up, right? Like millions and, billions of people are going to show up, right? So, there were like 20 billion people are going to show up to the funeral of, their dead Muslim pedophile dictator. However, the turnout has been incredibly low. The images that we've seen, maybe like, 25,000. And of those 25,000, half of them aren't even Iranian. Okay, so that's the first thing. So now, because all of this footage is coming out, remember, because all this sort of footage is coming out, and Iranians are all like, haha, look at this, like these, the Islamic regime literally has zero support, right? Again, when I say that there's very little support for the Islamic regime, this is literally proof. This is proof. I mean, I knew that it was going to be bad. I didn't realize it was going to be this bad, okay? I still thought that there would be bigger crowds because I thought that maybe Iranians and occupied Iran would go just so that they could, I don't know, witness the corpse of the murderer of their loved ones going by, okay? But this, I did not expect this. I did not think that the crowds would be this bad because at the end of the day, the Islamic regime is bringing in their non-Iranian supporters from, Afghanistan and, Pakistan and northern India and Bangladesh and, wherever, right? Like all these like third world countries. Like they even brought in Jackson Hinkle, and Jackson Hinkle's like giving water out like a water boy, right? So I just thought that the crowds would be much bigger. This is way worse. This is way worse. Like I see this and I'm like, I don't even think that there's 5% support. Okay? Like I look at these crowds and I'm like, I think the support for the Islamic regime is like 3% at this point. 3% maybe, if even that. So, this is why the Durkas are now freaking out, and they're trying to blame someone for the low turnout. So now this, some people are saying the low turnout is because of the fact that they decided to have this, week-long circus, this freak show, and it's, going to be happening in all these different cities, and they're going to be taking the corpse to like, Iraq and, wherever, right? And so they're complaining because of the low turnout. They say if it had been held for just 1 or 2 days and limited hours, way more people would have shown up. In 2 hours, the coffin will be transferred from Tehran's Azadi Square or Lashkari Highway to Qom. According to one pro-regime blogger addressing the Tehran IRGC commander, what you did to the trust of Khamenei's followers, Netanyahu couldn't even dream of. Guys, this is a huge insult. Wow. So, guys, the game of Durka intensifies because now the supporters of, like different factions within the Islamic regime, they're now they're saying that this IRGC commander has done worse to the supporters of Khamenei than Prime Minister Netanyahu himself. Remember, it was Israel and the IDF that exterminated Khamenei, right? This is a huge, like, I can't think of a bigger insult than this, right? Remember, the Islamic regime, one of their core foundational pillars is their never-ending jihad with Israel, right? Israel is the little Satan. And they're always like, we're going to destroy Israel, we're going to reclaim Jerusalem, blah, blah, blah. But now, the infighting has gotten to a level where they're literally accusing the organizers of this, freak show, carnival, circus funeral. They're saying that what you did to Khamenei is worse than what Netanyahu could have ever done. I can't think of a bigger insult than that. I literally can't. Wow. This is a beautiful, beautiful post. And this shows exactly how much the Durkas are freaking out, right? Like this is really good. This is really, really good. Wow, POTYPTO. This was a gem. Thank you so much for sharing this one because I really enjoyed reading this one. And then, oh look, we have another post from POTYPTO himself. And POTYPTO says, can you believe that the graphic designer of this banner for Raisi and Nasrallah has outdone themselves? They're so vile that it's obvious from every angle.
I think it's a mistranslation because
wait,
they draw some horns on their heads. If you zoom in.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh. It was a funeral. It's the center of the attention.
Oh my gosh, guys, look at this. Look at this. This is totally like a graphic, like, this is why you need professional designs, right? Because it looks like, Nasrallah, he's like the exterminated leader of Hezbollah. He's got devil horns. And then Raisi is the former president. He, died last year in like a weird helicopter crash, right? He's got horns as well. So, oh my gosh. Welcome to the Islamic regime. This is literally Durka. Durka.
They are
Durka graph.
so developed that their inner self always revealed. There's no need to another thing to say.
You know what? You're absolutely true. Like they're so evil that they will inherently expose themselves, right? So, guys, this is literally like the devils are exposing themselves, right? Like with their devil crab flag and their devil like Allahu Akbar or whatever, right? Like they've literally exposed themselves. This is so good. Oh my gosh. This is yeah. What a this is so Khedi Tengan. Like I just don't even know what to say. Like they're so stupid, right? But there you go. There's some more of the freak carnival show from Khamenei'S funeral right there for you guys. Oh my gosh, POTYPTO. What a good photo. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're
That
more than
was
welcome. Actually, I've shared a fresh footage of funeral in Iraq. There's the last message I sent you if you have the time.
Oh, are they already in Iraq?
Yes, the footages are leaking, and you can see
Okay.
in the last link I send you in private chat.
I see. Okay, guys. So we have breaking news. Now we have footage from Najaf. So let's go to Iraq because remember, it's not enough for the supreme dictator to do like a weird freak show carnival tour with his coffin in different cities in Iran, in occupied Iran. They're also taking him to Iraq. So let's see what the Iraqis are doing. Let's see how big the crowd is in Iraq. What's this? Wait, you know what? I think that the music might be copyrighted. So let me go back and I'll play it from the beginning and I will of course add the appropriate music, right? We'll add the appropriate music here. So wow, massive. That's it? Wow. That's so embarrassing. Wow, okay. There you go. That's basically it, guys. That's pretty much the crowd size in Iraq, like Najaf or Karbala or whatever third world jihad. Like look at that. That's basically it. This is it. This is the crowd size for Khamenei, the dead supreme dictator in Iraq, right? That's so embarrassing. I honestly, like, can he just stay there? Just bury him there. We don't want him. Like, he's not Iranian anyway. Just bury him in Najaf or Karbala or, you know, wherever they came from, right? But yeah. Wow. There you go. All right, guys. Let me go to your questions and comments really quickly. And then I will see you guys later this evening for the Goldie Show, where I'm going to do a full geopolitical analysis on everything that's going on with the United States, Israel, the Islamic regime, His Royal Highness the Pahlavi, and of course, Iran and the Middle East in general. So yeah. Oh my gosh. Ali says Iranian weddings have more people than this. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. They absolutely do, right? There you go. So this is it. This is his support in Najaf. Oh my gosh. Wow. All right. So let me get to your questions and comments. We don't have too many, so we'll just go through these when we can. Kevin says, what is happening with the Kurdish rebel forces in Western Iran? There are no Kurdish rebel forces in Western Iran. if you're referring to the communist Iraqi Kurdish forces that are in Iraq, they are not welcome in Iran because they're separatists, they're communists, and Iranian Kurds are very loyal, very patriotic. So, Kevin, you've asked this question a million times. I don't know why, like you still keep on asking this, but the Kurdish rebels, they're not Iranian Kurds. They're Kurds who live in Iraq. At one point, they were part of Iran, but then, you know, borders and whatever, and so they were separated. So those rebels have nothing to do with Iranian Kurds who are very loyal, and they're Iranian first. So we don't call Iranian Kurds Kurdish rebels because they're Iranian freedom fighters. There's a difference. So there are no Kurdish rebel forces in Western Iran. They exist in Iraq, and those paramilitary proxy terrorist groups were actually created and funded by the USSR about over 100 years ago. So if you want to understand why all of those Kurdish terrorist groups in Iraq are pretty much communist, it's because their roots come from the USSR and from communism. And then when you're referring to the Baluchistan Liberation Army, that doesn't exist in southeastern Iran. Again, Iranian Baluch are very patriotic and they're Iran first, okay? And you're referring to a separatist movement that exists in Pakistan and Afghanistan. So those Baluch who are in Pakistan and Afghanistan, they are fighting against the Pakistani government, and they're also fighting against the Taliban. But that army does not exist in Iran. So all of these like separatist movements and rebel forces or whatever you're thinking of, none of those actually exist within Iran. So there you go. That's the question. So what's happening with them? I don't know. I don't care. Not my problem. Iranian Kurds, Iranian Baluch, they're patriotic, they're pro-Iran, and we are all united. And there are a number of different ethnic minorities in Iran, okay? And I'm going to say this again. For us Iranians, it's actually kind of rude to ask about like different, ethnic groups in Iran. Okay, so for example, I'm a Lor Bakhtiyari. Okay, I'm not technically Persian. The ethnic minority group, the tribe that I belong to, is actually much smaller than the Kurds or the Baluch. Okay, the reason that you guys don't ever ask about the Lors, right? Oh, what about the Lors? What about the Lor rebel groups, right? The reason that you guys don't speak about that or ask about it is because the Soviets didn't infiltrate the Lors, okay? But technically speaking, right? Like if I want to introduce myself, I could say I'm like an Iranian Lor, right? But we don't do that, right? Like when, within the Iranian national identity, it's actually very rude and racist to differentiate between the various tribal groups, because Iran is an identity that has existed for thousands of years, right? So one of the beautiful things about Iran is that we are united by our Iranian identity, okay? Iran is not like the other countries in the Middle East. Those countries in the Middle East have only existed for maybe 100 years. Iran is actually the oldest country in the world. Iran is older than Egypt, modern day Iran, okay? So Iran as a country, Iran as an identity has existed for over 2,500 years. So, yes, are there, people who are out there and, they want to claim separatism or whatever? Yeah, sure, whatever. Of course there are. But they're not Iranian. Okay? So again, please, I'm asking you guys, stop asking about the rebel groups and rebel forces, that are outside of Iran. And, they're dealing with either Iraq or they're dealing with Pakistan or Afghanistan. The various tribes in Iran were all united under one identity, one flag, and one leader, and that's His Royal Highness Reza Pahlavi. We don't speak about our tribes or whatever because that concept of tribalism, it doesn't exist in Iran anymore. We don't have that tribalism mindset that you see in like Iraq or Syria or wherever, right? Where in these various, like for example, in Syria, people, like the various tribes, they identify as their tribe first and then they say they're Syrian. For us Iranians, we identify as Iranian first. And then if someone asks, we'll talk about our culture and our language, whatever. But the Iranian identity is the most important thing. And that is literally what unites us. And this is why the Islamic regime is anti-Iranian, because the Islamic regime sees the Iranian identity as a threat. Okay? The reason that we Iranians, and POTYPTO, feel free to interrupt anytime if I'm saying something wrong, but the reason that we Iranians have survived the Islamic regime for 47 years and we haven't allowed them to Turkify us is because of our strong Iranian identity. Because the Iranian identity existed for thousands of years before Islam, and it will exist for thousands of years after Islam is eradicated. This whole notion of dividing people by tribe or identity, that's part of the Islamic regime's tactic to sort of pit different Iranians against one another, and yet it hasn't worked. I don't know, POTYPTO, if you want to add anything to that or not. No? Okay, POTYPTO's mic isn't working. All right.
Sorry, I didn't hear your question. Can you repeat? Sorry.
I was just going to say, if you had anything that you wanted to add to what I was saying about the Iranian identity and how we don't see each other as like different tribes. Like we're all Iranian first and we're all united under His Royal Highness Reza Pahlavi.
In fact, me myself as a lore also, I can 100% guarantee you, you're right.
Here, oh my gosh, there you go, small world. So there you go. You have two lores here. So I only know a little bit of. Oh, POTYPTO, you want to hear my lore joke?
Absolutely.
Okay, it's in Persian. So guys, 2 seconds here. لوره با مادرش میره تهران، بعد میخواد یه تاکسی بگیره، بعد تاکسی میاد، بعد the taxi driver he's like چند نفرین؟ بعد لوره میگه خودمو مارم. بعد تاکسی driver میگه خب مارو جونورتو بذار تو صندوق عقب، خودت بیا بشین جلو.
That was so funny. Actually, the fact that you were talking Lori, that was so cute, and I like that so much.
I know a little bit of Lori. I can't really speak the dialect. Like I can understand it because my family, right? Like my family, my extended family, they all speak like Shushtari or Disfuli or Bakhtiyari or whatever. But I can't really speak it too much. I just know a few things. I know like Shumi, which is like Hindune, and I know Khod Momorom. Anyways,
that's fine. You're very talented, Goldie.
There we go. Thank you. All right. So Kevin says, I heard that the IRGC is now working with Mexican drug cartels to assassinate mega Republican American leaders in politics and media in America. Are you safe in Toronto, Canada, Goldie? First of all, I'm not in Toronto. But yeah, like I am in Canada, but I'm not in Toronto. So I would say that I am safe. Yeah, I mean, this is a threat. This is the same group of people that are, put a bounty on my head as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm safe, but I'm not in Toronto. Oops. Yeah. I'm safe, but yeah, not there. So my location is undisclosed. I don't tell anyone which city I'm in, and that's for safety reasons. Ian Inkster says, do you think we can arrange an actual 20 million large remembrance ceremony in the West for the fallen? I mean, have a word with the Crown Prince. Well, I mean, I don't know if that's actually possible because there's only like 10 million Iranians in the diaspora. And not everyone could make it out to like one place. But again, this whole, I mean, as I've explained throughout the whole show today, 20 million people didn't show up for Khamenei's funeral. It was maybe like 25,000, right? So the number is 25,000, and all the footage that you're seeing. And if you missed the beginning, please go back and watch the beginning where, I show you, like the POTYPTO sent this amazing link of the cameraman and how when he zoomed out, you can see how empty the crowds are, but then he zooms in and it looks like it's a big crowd. So there you go. But that's a great idea. I'll definitely pass that along. And then KP says, Tusi's last live a few minutes ago, it was on Syria. The next one coming up soon, you might want to pay attention to. The US pulled the IRGC's permission to sell oil. Expect craziness when they find out at the funeral. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be doing my usual geopolitics show, the Goldie show, later tonight, probably in about, I don't know, maybe like 3 hours or so, 3.5 hours. So, turn on your notifications and make sure that you like and subscribe. That way, when I go live this evening, you can tune in because, I'm going to be speaking about all that stuff. And there's a lot to cover when it comes to the current geopolitical situation in the Middle East. But thank you so much, KP. Appreciate that. I'll definitely go and watch Tusi's live as well. And our final comment is from Evan Christensen. You good? I am. Thank you. Are you good? By the way, that's how people in Norway say hello. It's you good. So there you go. Then Christian says, what happened that time? Reza Pahlavi got pranked by 2 Russian comedians. Did he just play along? Love Shah, by the way. Just curious, Javid Shah. Yeah, so, His Royal Highness Reza Shah, he's a very gracious person, right? Like, he's above politics. He is an elder statesman, okay? So he knows his stuff. And he dealt with that situation incredibly well, and he pretty much shamed the 2 Russian comedians who were trying to prank him. He pretty much put them in their place, and he shamed them, but in a very eloquent way. So yeah, I mean, again, this is why His Royal Highness is being targeted by so many people, because they all recognize and understand that he is a legitimate and credible threat to the Islamic regime, and that the Islamic regime is collapsing, and that's in a large part due to the efforts of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, right? So that's why he's constantly under scrutiny and constantly being attacked. Because think about it this way. If he was not a legitimate threat to the Islamic regime, no one would be paying attention to him. But the fact that the supporters of the Islamic regime are all out to get him, that tells you exactly what you need to know about the very real and legitimate threat. Anyways, I wanted to thank all of you for tuning in. Oh, where'd POTYPTO go? There we go. I wanted to thank all of you for tuning in to day 183 of Iran Revolution Live, where we did a bit of a deep dive into Khamenei's funeral. And I hope that this answered many of your questions about how many people actually attended the funeral of the dead supreme dictator Khamenei. POTYPTO, any final thoughts or comments before we end the show?
Actually, I have final thoughts, and the most important thing I just want to share with you guys. I just want to address the fact that the morale and the feeling that we already have, and our supporters around the world are already experiencing. It's so much look like if you go back and visit and watch episodes of Iran Revolution Live for like episode 15 or episode 16, and then fast forward and watch Iran Revolution Live 16.3. You can see how quick the situation is going to escalate, and at the time that nobody believes something is going to happen. And the funeral we already see, it's a great example at the situation that regime is in, and as you can see, somebody like me do not likely to this funeral attend at the best, or me myself, for example, I would like to something at least happen to this crowd. But after experiencing this situation and seeing that everything happening in our favor, because if the slightest thing happened, a slightest interruption happened at this funeral, they have the answer for their believers that something happened, so the people don't shows up. But right now, it's a great example of the situation of the regime, that we do not to do anything with it. We just have to step back and watch the beautiful fall of this house of cards, and just think about ourselves, or think about our future, because we are the one who have the future, and these people are experiencing the end of themselves, their regime, and their ideology, and anything else. So I hope everyone, including me, have their lessons on what we're experiencing right now. And after that footages we were seeing and addressing the fact that any regime personnel inside Iran, including the so-called Supreme Leader's sons, was showing up after 3 or 4 months and seeing the skies right now, even with the proof letters of the USA and US Army, they have the guts to show up. I just want to address the fact we are already having different people. For example, and I just want to address Her Royal Highness Princess Noor Pahlavi. She's in great danger right now. Actually, she's one of the most threats for the regime, because she is the resemblance of the future of the prosperous Iran. But when we were seeing her activities, she were openly showing up in public. She never stopped smiling, and actually, I just want to tell, she's so much brave and so much beautiful, actually, than these Dorka people right now we are seeing in Iran. So I just want to put them in context and just see what's the difference of true future of Iran right now. People, beautiful people, brave people, so talented people, and what is the end of the regime right now. So just for you, just relax and enjoy the show. And when the time comes, so many things going to happen so quickly.
Thank you so much, POTYPTO. You made a very good point there. You know, a lot of us, myself included, you know, we were kind of hoping that there would be boom booms at the funeral, but you're absolutely right. If something were to happen, then the Islamic regime could have blamed the lack of attendance on, you know, the boom booms or whatever happened. But the fact that nothing has happened and the attendance is so low, the Islamic regime can't explain that away, right? And so they're scrambling, trying to find some sort of excuse for why there was such a low turnout in attendance. But you know, we'll have more footage and more videos to share tomorrow as well. So stay tuned. And until then, guys, I'm Israel Chai. God bless America. Javid Shah and Payanda Iran. I'll see you guys later tonight. Payanda Iran. Javid Shah. And I will see you guys later tonight for the Goldie Show. Take care, everyone.
غرق انقلاب است.
کشور ما، تاریخ ما در سیدگر فرا گرفته، گویی اهورا مستا دوباره در نور خود مرا گرفته. اکنون سرودی سر میدهم باز فارغ از رنج و تشویش، ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. هن ای پدر، هن ای پسر، برخیز و با ما شو همگام، تا درد آن تجربه تلخ ما را نکشیده در خواب. بگذار هر دم ببرند گرگ‌ها دم لباس میش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ای کارگر، ای برزگر، راحت کنون ادامه دارد در این زمان که پرتو یزدان از هر سو بر تو میبارد. پس پیش به سوی آزادی از بحر خزر تا کیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. خلق‌ها به پا، بهر دفاع از استقلال و آزادی، تا بشکنیم پشت ارتجاع تیریزی ایران آبادی. تا زنده سازیم سنت‌های می از من آیین و کیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش.
با امید روزی که تمام این دلبشو و انقلاب تموم بشه و ما در روشنایی، نور و سعادت مردم کشورمون غرق بشیم.
نه خارجی، نه بیگانه، نه مستشارهای ویرانی، نه چیر خاران، نه کاسلیسان، فقط هم رزمان ایرانی. ما با شرافت میهنی بسازی بهر فرزندان خویش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. مردان بیایید داخل صف ما، اکنون که آغاز رویاست. دشمنان بدانید ما زنده هستیم بعد
از ما هم ایران ها برجاست. آن روح شیطان ما را فریب داد با صد شعار مردمیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به پیش به پیش به پیش. پرچم ما، پرچم ایران غرق خون شهیدان. روی شانه هامان هم میکنیمش در هر خیابان و میدان. تا ماسک دلغکان را برداریم از روی تسبیح و ریش. ایران غرق انقلاب است، به